Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome to another episode of the Truth Hour. I'm out here. Um, it's an interesting time period right now. Yesterday, we just had a global outage um, where airlines, internet, banking, all manner of technology was going wacky, and all manner of what people need, what people have been, quote unquote, on the grid for, all of a sudden was acting all crazy and haywire. Um, between, how can I say, between the end of June all the way up until November 19th, 1819, uh, we're in the middle of a reset or a last stand energy-wise by those in power to maintain their top-down power based upon the energy that's coming in post this. We're in this Pluto Aquarius energy right now where revolution, rebellion, transformation from the top down, ruling class elites, all of the injustice that has been happening between not only the Piscean era, which lasted 2,000 years, but also between Pluto being away, which hasn't transited in the United States since the American Revolution, and now entering another phase right now. We're now about to get a Pluto return permanently after November 19th, which will last for the next 30 years until 2044. So 20, 30 years. So you're about to see huge upheavals, basically. You saw it with the financial crisis in '08, but now it's going to be the financial crisis of '08, the right-wing MAGA fascists on the right-wing side, and then the progressive Montgomery Brawl, George Floyd uprising, protest upsurge that's been going on within the black community in the last 10 years also reared its head. So you have the 99% versus the 1%, so overthrowing the ruling class, and then also overthrowing white supremacy and injustice and anti-foundational black American racism. So you're having all of that culminate, and all of those energies and factions are all blending, and the ruling class right now is taking their last hurrah, putting up their last stand, trying to deceive the public, doing these, what can we say, social engineering trial runs per se. Basically, that's what that global outage was about. Oh yeah, y'all think y'all think y'all can do without us? Click, you know what I mean? Like, oh wow, you know what I'm saying? It's a trial run. It's a trial run for them to maintain power and see what's the reaction. Basically, how is the public going to react? You know what I'm saying? That's also why prices have been so high. That's a reaction to us not going along with their agenda, not going along with their Manchurian candidates, not putting in Kamala as president. Not the reaction to all that was the pandemic, and then the and also us getting an economic boost. They reacted by inflicting it onto the masses. Oh yeah, we can't centralize y'all. Okay, everybody's gonna get it then. And that's what it is. That's why you haven't seen price controls, capital controls, exchange controls, subsidies, subsidizing said prices so that everyday Americans, people, can afford these goods. And they be at a reasonable cost. And then if they can't be, then you inject a stimulus into the economy. You give them universal income. You make sure the price is set at a certain rate. And if these companies have losses, quote unquote, you subsidize the companies, but you don't then make it so that these companies are able to inflict price increase onto the population, well, the government's supposed to be that bridge, that barometer, so that the customer and those that supply said customers are both satisfied. And instead, everything's skewed over. It's in a balance. So we have that. Well, the real topic of today, while I'm talking about all this energy, universal energy, astrology, all of that, talking about, Sirius Gateway, 7-7 portal, the planets returning, transcending the ages that we're in. Also, too, in the midst of that, we're about to be in a full moon, which is also bringing, and then we're about to have the first 888 Lions Gate in a long ass time. So on the 8th of August, 2024, we're about to be in a Lions Gate portal, which is going to change a lot of things. It's going to bring in a lot of abundance, bring in a whole new energy, a whole new wave. So look for that. You're going to have a lot of more energy. You're gonna have a lot more income. Things are going to grow. Things are going to prosper for you. So, tone in on that energy. Meditate. Tap into those frequencies. Tap into those affirmations. And, things of that sort. Get that healing that you probably need at that pivotal time. So that's that for those things. Now I'm going to get into the political aspect of all of this. So I talked about the global outage and what that means. Why did that happen? What was the reasoning for it? I told y'all. And now we just had a longtime Democrat, Sheila Jackson Lee, just passed away. So she just died yesterday on July 19th, and CNN just reported about it 3 hours ago. So, and so now, I feel like what's happening right now, the old guard is getting swept out on both sides of the aisle. The old guard is getting swept out. Hell, to be honest, the Republicans are faction fighting, and they're in like 6 different factions. The Democrats are faction fighting, and they're in like 3 different factions. It's the establishment wing, the quote-unquote New Deal populists that want to provide, and then there's the base, the reparations wing, the Black Foundation of Black American wing, the ones that want reparations, universal income. And what's interesting about the 3 factions of the Democratic Party is you would think that the economic establishment bullshit wing would be aligned with the black base reparations wing, but they then flip over and turn on the black wing too. So it's a weird dynamic, and I'm talking about Bernie and shit, and those who are on that New Deals type shit, but they fucked themselves up. Like in 2020, dude, you could have won. All you had to do was endorse reparations, and if you're for justice and economic rights, then you will be for reparations too, because you need black people to win your candidacy, to win elections, especially not only in the primaries, but also especially in the general. Without that, you lose. Like, I don't know who is his was his strategist, but it's clear he wasn't listening to her, because the black woman, Turner, I think, Nina Simone or Nina Turner or something like that. But it's clear you weren't listening to her, because damn, my nigga, your ass, before you even got out the block, yeah, I don't even know what reparation is. Stop talking to me about that, nigger. Like, I'm like, damn, Bernie, feel the bird for real. Racist ass cracker. You probably call us Schwarzer behind the scenes. That's the Jewish slur word for nigger, basically. That's their word that's another word for nigger for them when it comes to them. So You fucked yourself up. You shot yourself before you got out the blocks. But, like I said, Sheila Jackson Lee passing away is kind of the universal energies saying that the old guard, the old way is dying out. You know what I'm saying? Hell, even Joe, he can't even finish a word. Like, he's over here stumbling and shit. That old way of doing things, that shit is dying out. It's over. It's already been over on the right wing side because they've been in a transition since 07, 08. You know what I'm saying? After the failure of the two Bush terms, the right wingers have been in an upheaval. Basically, they taxed enough already. Libertarian set took over. And then it culminated in 2016 when their candidate Trump beat their established guys, Ted Cruz's, the Marco Rubio's, the Jeb Bushes. That's what happened on their side. And then on the left wing side, they've been in an upheaval, but they've been able to manage it with so-called faces in high places, having black faces in high places, but not delivering for the people, not delivering economic justice, the economic bill of rights, the New Deal policy, all of the high virtues that we thought we were going to get when we were voting for an Obama. But that was a bait and switch, basically. They gave you all of the flash in the pan. Oh, he's really articulate. He went to these Ivy League schools, but none of the substance that provided for the masses of the people, especially black people, who voted him in overwhelmingly. And not only did they not gain anything for their vote, they got punished for voting for him, a la these massive killings, a la Trayvon, Michael Brown, and the list goes on and on, all the way till it culminated in 2020 with George Floyd. That was all done under the Obama administration, and his response to these killings was to call said victims thugs. What can we contend with? And then the response to the right-wingers getting more and more fascist was to stand down and say nothing and actually appease them. We have Merrick Garland. Hey, I know you're calling me a nigger, but here, Merrick Garland. Hey, buddy, can we bipartisanly work against the aisle? That's appeasement. The Democratic Party has been Neville Chamberlain, the radical right wing, aka fascist wing of the Republican Party, since Obama took office. So now we're at the gates of this shit, and now they've culminated with that wing basically literally dying off. We literally have Sheila Jackson Lee dying. Joe Biden has COVID, so he's at his apex. Okay, you can grab it out. So he has. So you literally have it culminating with you have it culminating with Biden basically having to recover from COVID. He can't even get a word out for real in the debates. He's looking bewildered, looking like he's like a senile man that needs to be in a nursing home. He can't even combat Trump, who in his own right wasn't that strong. They weren't talking anything about policies and economic benefits for the people and how to lower day-to-day costs for rent, for food, for electricity, for the shit that matters. So on both sides it was bullshit, but the media, since they're corrupt and they're for the 1%, they're bought and paid for by the 1%, it's not going to talk about what the people want. It's going to bullshit and be like, hey, yeah, dude is old, right? Yeah, he's old and he needs to be thrown away and thrown out. I'm like, yo, we don't give a fuck about that shit. I don't care about Lunch Bucket Joe's racist old ass, and I don't give a fuck about Trump and that bullshit you talk about. What are you doing for the masses of the people? What are you doing for black people who put you in office? What are you doing for the day-to-day, everyday American who needs economic justice right now? Who needs a higher wage? Who needs health care? Who needs universal income? Who needs their cost of living to be lowered so that they can live and won't die? That's what needs to be talked about. And what are you doing too foreignly to make sure that all these foreign imperial powers don't fuck around and have the power to imperialize us eventually, and also expand and take over innocent nations as they're doing, like China's uh, colonization of Africa and other areas, and in the Caribbean too, and Russia's aggression too, like, and calling out your own aggression too. Like, nothing's being done about all of this right now, and instead, it's a bullshit campaign, and it's a campaign to reset everything too. Like with the Trump assassination attempt, he was assassinated, and they're not even talking about the assassin like that. I haven't heard one word about the assassin. It's like this nigga don't even exist. It's like the shit was just a dream. Like I keep saying, the same way how Hitler gained power was through the world being in a